Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here today. Today's video, I'm just going to tell you a quick update on the pantry challenge I'm doing. If you hadn't heard of the pantry challenge, we'll talk a little about that too. Hopefully you can join in with us. I'd love to hear if you're already doing it or if you decide to join, how it's going for you. So I'm going to let you know a few things that I've learned along the way this month so far. And you know, maybe that'll be something that can help you as well. If you're new to the channel, me and my husband live on about 18 acres in the foothills of North Carolina, and we grow about 80% of our own food or so. I do a lot of food preservation, cooking from scratch, gardening. We raise all of our own meat. If that's something may sound interesting to you, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. Also, if you want to help me out on the channel, I know I have people asking me, how they can help me out. If you'll like the video, leave me a comment, share the video with friends, all that helps me out tremendously with this here YouTube algorithm. So anyways, so let's talk about what the pantry challenge is. So the pantry challenge was started by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead. I don't know how long ago, because I participated in it last year as well. But I don't know how long she has done this. It's just kind of a goal she set for herself for the months of January and February. And if I'm not mistaken, her goal is she is not going to the grocery store. None. Like zero. She's not using the grocery store. You kind of set your own rules for your own pantry challenge. So my rules was $100 budget for the month of January and February for groceries. The reason being is, well, first off, Andy and Maggie's both birthday is in January. So, of course, Andy and Maggie are going to get whatever they want to eat on their birthday. That's just something that we've always done, I'll cook whatever they want for supper, what kind of cake they want, all that. So if I don't happen to have it here, I can't tell them no. So that's in my budget. And also, my son is a little on the picky side, so there's very few things that he'll eat. He'll eat the same thing over and over again, if he had to. So there's a few little things I can buy him at the store to kind of give him a variety, which as he's gotten older, he's gotten better and better about trying things, and I pray he'll continue to get better at that. So far in this pantry challenge, today is January 16th. Like I said, I set myself a $100 budget, and I'm going to tell you how close I am to that already. Had come out with 5 grocery bags and 2 jugs of orange juice, and it was $75. So I'm right there at my budget limit. I got $5 more that I can spend on food, and I'm going to try my best to make it to the end of January without going over. So something I've learned so far, and what I love about this challenge is I really get a feel of what foods we really eat and what foods are kind of set off to the wayside, and we're like, well, we'll eat it if we have to. But I'm going to tell you, one big thing is flour. Now, since I haven't been going to the store, when we ran out of loaf bread, I made the bread, and we like bread, some type of bread, mostly with every night for supper. Not really Andy so much, but I'm a bread person. But like with biscuits, cakes, for dessert, but cakes, cookies, like I make all kinds of little things so everybody has a variety since I'm not going to the store. I went through the flour and the baking powder and the baking soda. I really, really went through them. So that was a little surprising to me because I started the month off, with a 5-pound bag and like a half a bag. So like 7.5 pounds of flour, and I've already gone through them. Like it's gone. So I had to get some flour and baking powder and baking soda at the store today. I've also, my biggest goal with my pantry challenge, I'm trying to use a lot of stuff out of the freezer. As you can see from my freezer video, my freezer is full. So I'm working on some of that stuff. So my goal is when I thaw out one thing, I'm going to thaw out 2 things. So we're going to have it's mainly protein in my freezer. So we're going to have 2 different proteins for supper every night to kind of put a dent in that, because we're getting low on beef. We had a beef done back in May, I believe. And so we're getting kind of low on beef. So, coming up probably towards the fall of this year at least, I need to get another cow done. And I'm going to have some room. So, like I said, I'm throwing out 2 proteins. And then, of course, the vegetables and everything is coming from my canned stuff. I mainly can vegetables. I don't care to freeze them. I don't care to use my freezer space for that. I'm trying to think. I've used quite a bit of the dried apples. I dried a lot of apples back in the fall. So I've been going through them quite a bit. I made something really good during this pantry challenge. I made a lot of applesauce too. And so I found this recipe for an applesauce cake. If you've never had an applesauce cake, which my applesauce is like apple pear sauce, it's both. But if you've never had an applesauce cake, I'm going to recommend that you try that, because even Andy, everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So, I found something new. So I definitely wrote down that recipe, and applesauce cake is banging. You should try it. But today the grocery store just kind of got, I don't know, I guess I haven't paid as much attention as I should to the prices lately. I was there at one time, like really paying attention, and I kind of got away from that. Like I really have to remind myself every time I go to the grocery store that I'm on a budget, not even during the pantry challenge, but just in life in general. But today, like I said, I come out with 5 bags of groceries and 2 jugs of orange juice for $75. And so it just makes me concerned for folks that don't raise their own food and that are having to depend on these grocery stores. And there was a lot of empty shelves. When I went at the beginning of January and then I went again today, I feel like they were low on a ton of stuff. Now, luckily, they had the stuff that I needed, but I don't know, a lot of stuff was just low. People were having a hard time finding eggs. Now, I'm going to tell you a little tip, something Joel Salatin said in one of his books that I've read. If you have 2 chickens for every person in your household, you'll never have to buy eggs again. So keep that in mind. If you can have chickens where you live, chicken feed is expensive. Chicken feed is expensive. And so if you go to saying that all you're going to feed your chickens is chicken feed, yes, you might as well pay the price at the store. The only thing is you can depend on your chickens. You ain't waiting on the man to deliver them to the grocery store. But chickens, y'all, can live off of scraps and bugs, and they may not lay as much without chicken feed, but chickens are backyard buzzards. They can live without things. I'm not saying I don't feed my chickens, but my chickens get a lot of scraps. They get a lot of scraps, and if I have to take them a bucket of scraps down there, they don't get fed. And sometimes it's a couple of days. I don't give them feed. They get, I worry more about them in the wintertime, but in the summer, I try to really limit, and they do just fine. And they have, survived, and actually, my hens are still laying. I know a lot of people have stopped laying. My hens are still laying. But anyways, that's a side tangent about eggs. But I'm just praying for everybody that don't have a resource, don't have a local farmer, or is not growing food themselves. It's just scary times we're living in. It's financially everything is getting more and more expensive, but people's wages are staying the same. If something don't give, I'm going to have to increase my hours at work because of these grocery prices. My cell phone bill has went up. My health insurance went up. Car insurance is steadily creeping up. And I'm making the same. I'm making the same amount of money, even though all these prices are increasing like they are. And I know I'm not the only one. So I'm praying for anybody that is going through that right now. And I encourage you to figure out how to locally resource your food or figure out how to grow your food. There's no such thing as a green thumb. That's the way I look at it. There is no such thing as a green thumb. It's trial and error, no matter if it's your first time ever growing a garden and you didn't get the first thing off of it, or you only got 1 tomato off the 3 tomato plants you planted. Well, it was a tomato that you didn't have before, that you didn't have to buy. But you try and try again. You watch YouTube videos. You do your research on the area that you live in. Talk to neighbors. Talk to people that have lived there who grow gardens there and figure out what they do. But just remember that. There's no such thing as a green thumb. Trial and error. Try and try again. Don't ever give up. But I want you to try to grow your own food. And if you live, in an apartment, there are farmers markets. You can pressure can in an apartment. You can can food. You can, do all that. I know you don't have a lot of room, but I live in a 900 square foot house. I ain't got a lot of room either. So, just priorities. It all comes down to priorities, basically. Another rule of mine in my pantry challenge is my children really enjoy going out to eat Mexican food. And that's usually our Saturday or Sunday night routine. And that's the one night a week that I don't have to cook. I don't have to wash dishes. So during this pantry challenge, we're still doing that too. But everything else, breakfast, lunch, and supper, is cooked from the stuff that we already have here. So I encourage you to make your own rules for your own pantry challenge. It's a lot of fun, I think, and it's fun to see what I use a lot of, when I'm not going to the store. And plus, financially, if I could keep a budget of just $100 a month for groceries, that would save me so much money, and would hopefully make up for that, those insurances going up, cell phone bill going up, etc. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe I could, because I'm really going to try to do this through February, so we'll see if I can make it the month of January and the month of February. So today is actually Maggie's birthday, and so like I told you earlier at the beginning of the video, I always let Maggie pick out what she wants on her birthday, and Andy picks out what he wants on his birthday. So my kids tickle me. My mama has always fixed instant potatoes for the kids. It's just something easy to throw together. For them for a quick lunch. Well, my little girl, she just absolutely loves instant potatoes. As bad as it hurts my mama heart when I make homemade mashed potatoes, she likes she calls them smashed potatoes, but she likes the instant ones the best. So tonight for supper, we are having Jesse Jones hot dogs. If you've never heard of a Jesse Jones hot dog, someone please need you to find you one and try it. Jesse Jones hot dogs, instant potatoes, and corn on the cob. Luckily, the corn on the cob was grown here. It's not our typical meal. But, that's what she wanted, so that's what we're going to have, and that just tickles her to death. And she also wanted a strawberry cake, but not like the fake pink strawberry cake, like a real strawberry cake with the white cake and the strawberries in between and the layers and stuff. And I'm not a baker, but I made her one, and it's actually a layer cake, so we will see. So we're just real life people here. My hair's always a mess. I always have on jeans and some kind of t-shirt, whether it be a long sleeve t-shirt or a short sleeve t-shirt for the most part. We're just plain old simple folks and like to enjoy a hot dog every once in a while and some instant potatoes, even though we do grow our own food. But that's what she wants, so that's what we're gonna have. But anyways, I hope you learned a little something from this video. It's a little different than what I normally do. But yeah, I'm enjoying the pantry challenge, and I'll update y'all a little later on, hopefully, with how it's going. Get some more how-to videos to you if you like that kind of stuff. And anyways, I'll see you on the next one.